So, Michael, I'm going to guess since it's been a couple weeks since we've done this show, we will talk about the psychology behind how absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's my guess.
That's an interesting guess, Dan. That's fascinating.
What a nice looking question.
It's very handsome. I am going to say that we are going to be talking about the summer solstice and the ever-present debate about daylight saving time. I say we need more daylight saving time. You know, you want freedom time. I say we should just move the clock ahead 7 hours just for fun.
That would be a fun debate to go after each other on that one. Beth, make that happen at some point, if not today.
What, to do a whole daylight savings time?
Yeah, he can be
Yeah.
for it. I'll be against it, and we'll be enemies by the end of the show. It'll be great.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Pretty sure we're not doing
Some
that.
people might
tonight,
want
but-
that.
No, they don't. Nobody wants that.
I can think of one person.
All right. Well, we'll find out in a minute what we're talking about. I am Dan. He is Mike. We are in the blind. It's In the Blind with Mike and Dan. Good evening, everybody. A word of explanation before we get going, because we've been gone for 2 weeks. I think we should explain why. We realized 25 shows in that this is a very, very hard show to put together, specifically for Beth. It's easy for Mike and me because we just, do what we're told. So, well, actually, that can be very difficult, but you know what I mean. But, but for Beth, very, very difficult, especially as we do more and more topics, her trying to remember what have we talked about, how can we spin stuff differently, all that. So I spent that time away building a very comprehensive database for her to work from now, where all of the topics are in there, they're cross-referenced, so we can search for different themes and things like that. Where can we expand upon? What ground have we already tread? So it'll be a heck of a lot easier, I think, for you to build shows going forward. So that's what we did with our time away, so we can be sure that we bring you good shows here. So if you're wondering where we were in Tech World.
We did it for you.
We did it
for
actually,
you.
yes.
Sacrificing for you.
And for Beth, because she throws less
Yes.
stuff at me now. She's prepping these shows because it's not like taking 9 hours. So
Yeah.
it's nice.
Throwing less
right.
stuff is good.
With
I'm
all
gonna
that having
note
been
that.
said, if you are new here, here's how it works. We get 2 topics, 20 minutes each. No idea what we're going to talk about. We're about to find that out in a moment. And then Michael and I will debate and discuss. And then after that, our true false round is just a joy. So stick around for that, especially question number 5, which is usually pretty off the rails. Shall we?
Yeah.
All right. Put us to work.
Okay. So this requires a little bit of a setup just in case you haven't heard of this before. Google is in the news for something that sounds at first completely fake. It's not a new search feature. It's not an AI update. It's not a phone. It's mosquitoes. Google has asked the EPA for permission to release millions of specially treated male mosquitoes into parts of Florida and California. The goal is not to create more mosquitoes, it's to reduce them. The mosquitoes involved are male, which matters because male mosquitoes do not bite. They're treated with Wolbachia, a naturally occurring bacteria. When these male mosquitoes mate with wild female mosquitoes, the eggs are not supposed to hatch. So in theory, this could reduce the population of a mosquito species that can spread disease. On paper, there's a real public health argument here. Fewer mosquitoes, less disease risk, less pesticide use, a more targeted way to control a pest that humans have been fighting since the dawn of time. But the public reaction has not been calm and appreciative because the phrase Google wants to release millions of mosquitoes sounds like the first sentence of a movie where everyone should immediately leave the town. And some of the concerns are not just wild internet panic. People point to past mosquito-controlled experiments, including a separate 2019 genetically modified mosquito project that happened in Brazil, where researchers found that lab-strain DNA had made its way into wild mosquito populations after the mosquitoes and afterwards the mosquitoes reproduced anyway. That was a different project, different technology, so it's not exactly the same as what Google is planning, but it explains why people hear, "Don't worry, the system is designed not to spread," and respond with, "Okay, but are we absolutely sure?" There's also the issue of sorting. The whole reassurance is that these are all male mosquitoes, and male mosquitoes do not bite. But if millions are being released, people naturally ask how perfectly males and females can be separated, because a tiny error rate sounds different when the numbers get large, and there is a small error rate. And beyond the science, there's a trust problem. It's not just a county mosquito control office, it's Google, a company people already associate with data, surveillance, AI, corporate power, and systems most ordinary people do not fully understand. So even if the science is reasonable, the messenger changes the reaction. One public comment asked, in effect, who benefits from this and why is it being done? Another argued that corporations should not be artificially altering ecosystems and that people should not be treated like experimental rats. Those are not scientific arguments by themselves, but they are trust arguments. And trust matters when the experiment is not something people individually choose to buy, download, or ignore. Mosquitoes don't stay inside an app. They don't respect property lines. They enter shared space. So the question is, with Google's mosquito project, are people reacting against the science itself or against the idea that a powerful corporation might be allowed to alter the environment around them? By the way, as a side note, the project, the whole effort is called Debug. No, I am not kidding.
So give me the question again, because your setup was like 5 minutes, but your question was like 2 words. And I want to make sure I got those 2 words right.
So with the mosquito project, are people reacting against the science itself or against the idea that a powerful corporation might be allowed to alter the environment around them?
Oh, okay.
There's lots of ways this can spread into a discussion.
All right. Well, dear listeners, turn up your headphones because I have something very serious to say. And I'm going to make my thoughts very clear, very plain right now. Here it comes. All right. You all heard that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good. I'm glad. Yeah, it kind of bothers me.
I had to use this. I read this and I was like, oh dear Lord, no.
Michael, have you seen the show Devs on FX?
I have not.
Watch it sometime. It's really good. Hulu's got it. It basically the long and the short of it is you've got like this tech oligarch guy who's playing God, and he basically builds a system that is almost like God. And this feels like Google taking yet another step to play God. But what does that have to do with them? That's the first big question I have in mind, is what in the world does it possibly have to do with them? Because pick a lane, man. Are you into yeah. Are you into tech? Are you into biohacking the planet? You know, this is especially bothersome because we can't get the YouTube algorithm right. They own that. We can't get search right because that's all zero-click AI stuff now. They can't get that right. And now we're going to let these same people play with the bug population? I don't know. My initial thought is, oh God, no, please don't let them. You?
Well, the question, when I look at it, it's like, well, do people trust Google? The science behind all this? I mean, what's the bottom line here? And I think, yeah, I mean, nobody trusts, well, I shouldn't say nobody, but very few people trust mega corporations. It's right up there with the government, mega corporations. I mean, are they looking out for us? Is this like some altruistic project where we're going to cut down on mosquitoes because it's good for business and it's good for everybody? Sure, I guess less disease means people live longer, which means more people get to use Google, I guess, and more people online, I guess. And we all hate bugs. I think we can all sort of get with that. And I've heard about this idea of injecting them with this, basically a bacteria, which essentially makes it so that they can't continue to reproduce like they do. So that much I've heard about. But yeah, this is one of those things. It's very, on its surface, it sounds, oh, neat. We're, going to cut down on mosquito population. Cool. Less malaria, less disease, less West Nile virus. I'm all for that. But then let's look at who's behind it. And those people, those kooks that were like, Bill Gates is trying to kill everybody, but that's the COVID hoax, blah, 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 Bill Gates. This doesn't do a lot to help me tell those conspiracy theorists to go pound sand when Google gets involved in some crap like this. And while they may not be the same thing, it's adjacent. And so, then you have to listen to that garbage. So thanks a lot, Google. You just made my life worse for having to, fuel into those people, give them any ammo. So yeah, I just have an inherent distrust. Google's great for some things, but I mean, I don't. How about you fix your algorithms first, man, and then worry about the bugs. Fix your own bugs, then worry about Earth's bugs.
There's a thing though in Silicon Valley where they've almost got this godlike persona that they're all developing. They're like, they're going to save the world.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me, I suppose, from that standpoint that they would try something like this. But I'm pretty sure AI does not stand for artificial insects. At least that's not what it's supposed to stand for.
Yeah.
But, Anonymous put it in the chat. Where was it? Oh, my Android phone already listens to us. We don't need tiny mosquitoes listening. Yeah, you kind of wonder if they're bugging the bugs.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about conspiracy theory, but they're playing in an arena that they just have zero business playing in.
Well, and Dan already knows this, so I couldn't use it as a cold topic because we discussed it when it happened. But there is a startup company in California, and it's gotten actual legitimate funding. And one of their goals is to make glow-in-the-dark bunnies. And I'm like, what? They're a prey animal. Why? What? And also on their list is they want to do things like make unicorns and whatever.
Of course.
I mean, all this stuff kind of goes back to, have you ever seen the movie Jurassic Park? Like, just stop effing.
We've bred a minotaur, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know. So even if Google was qualified for this, the other side of the equation is we have the windshield phenomenon going on right now in much of the United States, where you're no longer driving down the road and getting your windshield filled with bugs because the population is already collapsing in a lot of areas for a lot of insects. So again, why are we playing God? Especially if it's, the tech company that can't even get the tech right. Why Why are we playing God and going and messing with something that is already broken, probably from the stuff that we do?
And by the way, if we're going to go after bugs, can we just get rid of the friggin' roaches? Why are we going after mosquitoes? They're annoying, but I don't know. If you gave me a choice, hey, which one do you want to get rid of on planet Earth, the mosquitoes or the roaches? I'm like, roach, bye-bye. See ya.
Well, roaches are beyond our capability. We can't even nuke those suckers, Michael.
I know. I mean, we got to come up with something to get rid of these guys. Maybe we'll just feed them Arby's. That should get rid of them. That should neutralize them.
Oh yeah, there's an Arby's story later. Remind me. No,
there's always an Arby's.
There's always an Arby's story. No, I heard one over the weekend, but I maybe the roaches are the actual aliens, and that's why we can't kill them. That's what we're gonna find out.
Yeah, right. Especially those flying ones.
No,
Well, the other thing too is, okay, so they propose this to the EPA and say the EPA says, yeah, go ahead. Is that fair to Canada or Mexico? Or, I mean, again, it's not like they're contained.
Well, and didn't we learn about tinkering with stuff, regardless of what official story you believe, but didn't we learn this with COVID? Didn't we learn this with, the swine flu and bird flu and all this stuff? Yeah, maybe that wasn't all human created necessarily, but I mean, are we really begging for another epidemic or a pandemic? Are we just that much in a rush to have one? And I know they're saying, well, this will actually cut down on stuff, but every time humans seem to interfere in stuff, it never quite goes as intended. Or it may initially, but then it turns out a different way. I mean, the wild boar population is a great example of that. Just all the feral hogs that are running around, every time we try, we seem to somehow make it worse in our intention to make it better.
Well, I think that's because we don't understand the arena that we're playing in. We like to think that we do, especially now in modern times, yes. Since we've kind of sort of figured out one or two things we think we know it all.
Yes.
And we
the
haven't
Dunning-Kruger effect on a human level.
We haven't even scratched the surface or gone under the surface. I mean, what's the percentage of the ocean that's been fully explored? Isn't it like 2% or something like that?
Yeah.
It's a ridiculously small amount. We don't understand this planet. We don't.
Yeah.
Not the way that we think we do.
Right.
So the idea of messing with the population of things is just, it's a nightmare. And I'm wondering what's Google looking to gain from this?
That was the other thing I was going to ask. Are we to believe this is purely altruistic? Because I don't know.
No, because Google is publicly traded. It's Alphabet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders to make profit.
Yep.
Period.
So are they trying to create a problem that they then are going to step in and solve?
Maybe.
That's
they have enough problems that they can step in and solve without having to create new ones that could probably up their stock price. So it seems a little bit wasteful to me, but maybe. I'm trying to wrap my head around what a tech company who has 2 broken search engines and is bankrupting millions of websites around the world with their new 0-click results. I'm trying to figure out what the gain is.
By the way, to interrupt, you are talking about the ocean. Humans have visually explored less than 0.001% of the ocean floor, an area roughly the size of Rhode Island.
Okay, even less than I thought. Well, there you go. So yeah, I mean, I can't. Our timer stopped. Why did it stop? Oh well.
You broke it, Dan.
It's a Monday.
Whatever. But no, I'm trying to. That's fine. We got about 8 more minutes
Yeah.
by my other timer. I'm trying to figure out what the
Michael's light's still on, so
yeah. I'm trying to figure out.
No,
what
that's all been. I have brand new
Oh.
lights in here.
that's right. That's right.
trying to
Thanks
figure out
to-
what the gain here is, and I can't comprehend it.
Dan, they're just doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. That's what big companies do. They just want to help. They're here to help and give back to the community because, you know, they do so much for us, and they just want to help us out, and that's really all they really are interested in. And sure, if they make a few bucks along the way, that's great. But
All right, we'll go with that.
yeah, yeah. And if you believe that, I mean, I don't understand what the end game here is, other than there's even this. If I were to buy into the idea of, well, you know, it's an experiment, and Google, somebody talked them into it, or there's no way that there's not something in it for them. You know, it's just like the whole conspiracy theory about a cure for cancer exists, but there's no way that it's ever going to come out, because curing cancer, while you could make some money, there's a lot more money in treating and not curing, you know, or, you know, the water powered car, there's no money to be made in that. Whereas there's plenty in fossil fuels or even electric cars. You know, so we're never going to actually see that, even though the technology is very, very much a feasible thing. Now, I don't know about this. I don't know what's the goal of, hey, let's eliminate mosquitoes. I mean, it seems like that would actually hurt, because less people would have, I don't know, mosquito spray, or I don't know, Neosporin sales would go way down. I don't know. I'm not sure what the end game here is. Maybe I'm just too stupid to know that, but I can't figure it out.
Anonymous Art says Google is looking to create a problem, and then they'll end up charging people to fix it without telling us it's due to the problem they created. Yeah,
Well,
but that's the thing that's confusing to me, because I don't disagree with that idea.
Yeah.
But they've got enough avenues for that already.
Yeah. Well,
They've
governments
created
do that.
infinite problems already.
Yeah.
That need to be.
They already have a bunch of problems that we could pay them to solve, even though they created the problem in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go ahead.
everything that they do is that way. So why dabble into yet another area? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, though. I'm not completely sold on it. I you know, like I said, governments do this a lot too. So it does not surprise me that a big mega conglomerate like Google would do that. You know, governments start wars, and then they're like, oh, we solved it. Ha, we got out of it. See, I'm the hero, but you created it in the first place. No, don't pay attention to that part. Just pay attention to the part where I came in and fixed it at the end.
I think I might have an answer.
Okay.
And I went and I Googled, which I don't think is against the rules. If it is, oh well.
No.
But I Googled,
For the lightning round, it would be.
I Googled, do mosquitoes interfere with tech? Like, is there some tech reason for this? And I might have an answer. They rarely damage internal tech components, but they frequently interfere with optical sensors and motion detection systems.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I
The
wonder
mosquitoes make it harder for them to spy on us.
well, not only that, but Google's got Waymo.
Yeah.
So the self-driving cars and all that rely on all of those sensors, on all of the camera equipment, everything else, are they looking at it as something that interferes with the tech?
Huh.
So that would at least be a plausible reason for them to go down this road. No pun intended with Waymo going down the road.
Yeah.
But still, man, not their field of play.
The part that bothers me is, like I said, it's there's not a 0% error rate, and I just re-looked it up anyway, to make sure that my numbers were right. But recent studies, like within the last couple of years, still say there's a 0.1 to 0.3% contamination rate. But that means if they're sending out females, then they're going to reproduce anyway. And then all they did was up the mosquito population in multiple states to the detriment of not just people, but crops, animals, like what, you know.
Yeah, and who's the lucky Google intern that gets to sex all the mosquitoes, by the way? Sounds like a great job.
All right, Frank.
And how are they, like, it can't be easy to coordinate and let these things loose in the wild. Like, who drives the truck with the semi that is full of mosquitoes
free now.
and opens
free.
the back door? You know what I mean? It's just,
go forth, my beautiful mosquitoes.
Yeah. I don't get this one. Our time is pretty much up on this topic.
Yeah.
But, and we'll see if we can get the timer working for round 2. Don't know why it froze, but yeah, I guess I personally walk away with from this one with confusion as to why they're picking this lane. But again, it might just be that whole God complex that's developing at a ridiculous level in Silicon Valley. Ashley thinks maybe bioweapon. Yeah, okay, but that sounds like something that should be happening with like Lockheed or something then, rather than Google, but who knows? The sensor thing though makes some sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
If that's what they're fearing, if they're seeing this future of
we just
all
want to take you
autonomous
places.
Automobiles. But you collapse the bug population and you collapse other things too, because, you know, whether you like them or not, the bugs are a big part of the ecosystem. And if you collapse it,
yep,
you know, it's just a chain reaction.
Interfere with the food chain.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, shall we move to topic dos?
yes.
C.
This one is also a little bit wordy, and it is the cousin, I guess, of the previous topic. So in the last cold topic, we talked about Google's mosquito proposal itself, the science, the safety claims, the weirdness of reading the words Google and mosquito in the same headline without immediately checking whether you accidentally opened a satire website. But there's a second question underneath the first one, and we touched it a little bit, but I think we can go further. Even if the science works, who should get to decide? Google has asked the EPA for permission to release specifically treated male mosquitoes into parts of Florida and California. The idea is to reduce the mosquito population by releasing males treated with Wolbachia, a bacteria that can prevent viable offspring when those males mate with wild females. So the public health argument is clear. Fewer mosquitoes, less disease risk, possibly less pesticide use, a more targeted way to deal with a real problem. But this isn't the same as launching an app. If Google releases a product, people can choose not to download it. If Google changes a search feature, people can complain, switch browsers, or yell into the internet void like our ancestors intended for us to do. But mosquitoes are a little bit different. They don't have terms and conditions. They don't respect property lines. They don't care whether you clicked accept. They move through neighborhoods, backyards, parks, drainage areas, shared spaces. So even if the EPA reviews and approves the project, some people are asking whether regulatory approval is enough. One commenter asked, in effect, who benefits from this? Why is it being done? Which we touched on in the first topic. Another argued that corporations should not be artificially altering ecosystems, saying that the job should be left up to public regulators and not private companies. Another reaction boiled down to, we're not lab rats. Why are they experimenting on us? And those comments are not scientific evidence, but they reveal something important. People aren't afraid of mosquitoes. They're afraid of being included in an experiment that they didn't personally agree to. And that's the bigger concern. It's about consent. It's about corporate power. It's about whether public spaces should be altered by private companies, even for potentially good reasons. And it raises hard questions. If a project affects the shared environment, who gets a real say? The company, the EPA, the state, the city, the neighborhood, the people living near the release site? Because the old model says experts studied it, regulators reviewed it, the public can comment, then a decision is made. But we live in a low trust era. People don't automatically trust corporations. They don't automatically trust government agencies. They don't trust experts. And they definitely do not automatically trust a tech company saying, don't worry, we have a system for this. Maybe that distrust is a problem. Maybe it blocks useful innovation. But maybe it's also the public remembering that powerful institutions have made a lot of decisions over the years and then asked ordinary people to just live with the consequences. So the question is, when a private company wants to alter a shared environment for a public health goal, should government approval be enough, or should affected communities have a stronger form of consent?
All right, well, the timer's counting down. We'll see if it keeps counting down. I'm going to set a backup timer just in case. I personally, Michael, I don't think you can trust the government or the corporation in this particular instance because capitalism is dead. And I say that as a capitalist. The problem that we have now is that everything is run as a private-public partnership. And there will be people that scream fascism, and they will blame the orange guy who currently holds the office. But quite frankly, it doesn't matter which party's in charge. It's running the same way. It's just what are the priorities. But at the end of the day, that is what we're running now. It is the corporations controlling the government. It is the government running to the corporations when they want something done, but want to hide behind laws and rules and regulations and responsibility. And I think that's the biggest issue here. Whether it's mosquitoes or anything else, I don't think we can trust either the government or the corporations to have anybody's best interests at heart right now. You?
No. Again, the orange guy is a mouthpiece for a government that is indeed fascist, but it certainly did not start with him. The U.S. has been low-key fascist for a long time. I mean, if I really go back and think about it, and people think, they think marching people into death camps, and so, we're not talking about that. What we're talking about is business and government in lockstep with one another, sort of in this partnership, and it's not a partnership that ever benefits the people. Oh, sure. Now, once in a while, the people might get a benefit, a bone thrown their way. But I don't trust the government, but I also don't trust big corporations, and they're almost one and the same. And they shouldn't be. They should never be. But yeah, capitalism's dead, Dan. I mean, that, in its purest definition. Sure, small businesses in a local area, you can still have something of what feels like capitalism. But my point is, and in relation to this topic, is, you can't trust these guys to do the right thing. And you always have to be suspicious of when they are trying to do the right thing. And I know that sounds cynical, and it sounds like, you're just being an ass, but realistically, there's just a lot of examples of situations where, they're trying to, quote, do the right thing, but somehow prices don't go down. Somehow it doesn't, the homeless doesn't get better. The overall quality of life for some people improves, but for the overwhelming majority of the population, there's still a lot of struggle and strife, despite all the blathering from, the parties and from the companies and saying, no, we're trying to make for a better world and all this. But for some reason, despite the ever improving technology, and despite the fact that these guys seem to get wealthier by the minute, for the little guy, for the me, for the Mikes of the world, for the Dans of the world, for the people in our chat and everything, the world the quality of life doesn't seem to get better. So that's why I just don't inherently trust them. So when they say, "Oh, we're just trying to do this to help out," I'm well, get out the Crayolas and color me skeptical.
Yeah. Just to backtrack perhaps a little bit, because I don't remember this from the first topic, but obviously we're crossing over for the basis of it. Did
Sure.
Google at this point give a why? So there's no why. It's just we're going to do this thing.
The idea is to eradicate disease, I believe, is the main proponent.
That's not a Google thing. That's a Microsoft thing.
Well,
that's the first problem. But the Google doesn't care about disease. That's a Microsoft thing.
Right. And that's the thing you have to ask is why would a giant corporation do anything that does not directly benefit them, the shareholders? Again, the fiduciary responsibilities to the shareholders. Why would they do something like that? I mean, sorry, I know what it sounds like. I know I sound just completely cynical about it, but I prefer to call it realism. It's just being realistic. A small business that gives to a charity, there's not necessarily a benefit to the small business. They're helping out a community. Local guys, I can still trust some small businesses for sure. But we're talking about we're not even talking about something like a Target. We're talking about Google. Like Google and, Tesla or Elon Musk. I mean, up here in the multi tens and hundreds of billions or trillions of dollars in worth. I mean, the top of the pyramid. I just don't think there's anything altruistic. It's always they're saying, what do we get out of it? And if it is, hey, we're doing this because we can better spy on people, or hey, our cars work better, our Waymos work better, so therefore it'll help to serve more people. Yeah, okay, but what's the other reason? I mean, that's the reason that you're telling everybody, but what's the quiet reason? What's the reason that, you guys in the meeting say like this? You get right up on it and you talk under your breath about it and say, this is the real reason we're doing it. What's the real reason? That's what I want to know. What's the quiet part? I don't care about the loud part. What's the quiet part?
Well, here's something that just came to mind for me. Is it even possible for a giant corporation like a Google or a SpaceX or a Microsoft or any of that, a Walmart, an Amazon? And equally, is it possible for a government the size of ours, which is one of the largest employers in the country, is it possible for a mega-sized organization like that, and the government in and of itself has become a mega-sized organization, is it even possible for something of that size to be altruistic? I don't think it is. So it removes the possibility that stuff like this is done for the benefit of the greater good, and in its place inserts the probably fact that it's done for the profit of somebody.
Sure.
whether it be monetary or just in power, for that person to profit,
Right.
or a small set of people to profit from it, either again for money or power. So when we talk about if a project affects everyone, who gets a say in it, the more it's like a snowball. The more the corporations and the government grow and get more and more power, the less and less. It froze at 12:22 again. What in the world? All right. That's exactly where it froze last time. We'll have to figure that out. I have a secondary timer running, but
there's a mosquito in the timer.
There might this is Google telling us they don't want us talking about this subject, but I'll have to Google the importance of 12:22. There's got to be a meaning there. But no, it's there.
It's a sign.
If there is, then we're on to something. But no, you're not going to get a say anymore, because and it's hard not to line up behind these larger corporations just to get through daily life. I mean, Michael, we make our living off of the backs of one of the largest corporations in the world, you and I.
Yes.
And we do it happily, and we try to treat our business daddy with respect, because we know that if we don't treat business daddy with respect, he'll slap us and he'll take away our toys.
Yep.
So I mean, we're like willing participants in it. But if the bigger question that you had, Beth, was who gets to say, nobody.
Who gets to say?
It's like it's not even an option.
Is the oligarchs, the people that have the money, the people that have the power. Look, we go to war. Do you think that, like the Iraqi war, it wasn't about weapons of mass destruction. It wasn't even about deposing Saddam Hussein. That's the line that they put out there so that the people get behind it. But it's about oil, and it's not even just about oil, although that's a great big part of it. But there's also the benefit to the buddies of the people that are in power, the Black Rocks and the these other these other big contractors and these other guys that go in there and do all that. I mean, war is a for-profit business. And that's not cynicism. That's not conspiracy. This isn't Alex Jones. They're making the frogs gay. It's not that. This is simply the facts.
Eisenhower warned us.
Yes, he did.
Of the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, in his
and
departing speech.
And again, we sit and we have these fights over Republican and Democrat, and I as a person that's been independent, in the center for a long time, it's the silliest argument that we have about left versus right, because it's really just right versus wrong. And unfortunately, the government and these big conglomerates are in the wrong, and they've been in the wrong for a long time. But people think, because they say the flowery language that my side likes, they're on my side, but they don't. And they'll tell you, well, we're going to war because they might get a nuke, or we're going to war because we're liberating people. And what's weird is those people we're not liberating anybody. How can you liberate stuff by blowing it up? But because they have a, $80 billion contract with the government, well, that's how you liberate. You liberate because a lot of people are lining their pockets with money. And, this isn't even political, because some people are going to think this is because it's not. This is objectively true. This isn't even an opinion. I could certainly have my viewpoints on who benefits more and why they do that, and how evil on a sliding scale someone is, from whatever. But, but it's all bad, and it's just the way that it is. I'm not saying every single conglomerate, every single corporation is this, Mussolini, Stalin, Hitler level of evil.
Masked villain.
But there's definitely toes that have to get stepped on for them to get to be that size.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just how it is. There's exploitation that goes on. I mean, you know, and we're willing participants. You know, I'm not saying I'm above it. You know, this device right here is made on the backs of exploited labor. It's made from children, or it's made in a sweatshop, or the battery inside it is made by warfare and you know, capturing mines. And I mean, you know, that's the way it is. It sucks. And I, you know, so who makes the decisions? Who makes the calls? Who's in control? It's not the people.
No.
It's those guys that do it. I mean, and you know, I think if I would have tried to have this conversation like with myself, with like 20-year-old me, I don't think I would have understood it. I think it would have been one of those things where it's like, nah, man, you're just an old, you know, conspiracy guy, and, you know, go back and listen to Art Bell. But I mean, you know, it's like, come on, look, as it turns out, that's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Google's just a piece of the puzzle, by the way. You know, we pick on Google, but it's not just Google. Like, Google is just, they're just going along with it. They're just there. And, you know, Google is actually, you know, on occasion, they tried to sort of fight against it theoretically 25 years ago, but they quickly learned that it's much better to play ball for their business. So they did disgusting things like when China said, hey, you're going to censor your searches for our country. Google could have said, nah, we're not doing that. We're Google. Go F yourself with an iron stick. And instead they were like, oh, whatever you want, whatever Daddy China says, we'll do that for you because we want that market. We want that money. You know, and that's just how it is. Now, there are some companies with integrity, but you'll notice that the companies that have the integrity, they ain't the size of Google. And they never will be.
No. Yeah, it's funny you talk about companies with integrity. I mean, we are a company here at the bunker. It's a small one, but we are one. And I find it challenging to operate with integrity even at this level, because I have to walk on a knife's edge, because Beth and I, we have goals and aspirations, things that we want to do, and we're going to achieve those goals. It's not an option. We're going to do it, but we have to play within the rules of this modern society where it's all private-public partnership. We have no true control over anything. So you have to play the game. And you have to find a way to play the game just enough that you don't lose your soul.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's so frustrating, because I mean, you know, this is off topic from the mosquitoes and stuff to an extent, but but in the same respect, we're talking about the larger corporations and the government pretty much just having the power to do whatever the hell they want. That's really what it breaks down to.
Yeah.
Right.
Is we're going to do whatever the hell we want. And ultimately, for me to achieve my goals, for Beth to achieve her goals, for you to achieve your goals, we kind of have to just throw our hands up at this point and go, okay, your game. Yeah. And then find ways to bend the rules enough that we can get our piece of the pie, and then F off somewhere where we don't have to deal with it anymore.
Right.
It's what the whole thing has come down to.
It's walking that balance beam of maintaining your integrity and trying to keep your dignity while still being able to play within the boundaries where other people, by the way, are not doing that. And, you know, I've talked about it here. Yep. I've talked about it on Sidebar. I've talked about it on my own channel. I've talked about, you know, there's lots of things I could do that some of these other guys that, you know, have more higher metrics and certainly more success than I do. And I could certainly do what they do, but I'd have to give up a lot of my own integrity to do that. And I just have refused to do it. I won't do it. Because I don't know. I guess I'm still one of those people that's, has to face himself in the mirror and be like, I gotta have, my conscience just wouldn't let me do it. Just openly lie to people. It's just too hard to do that. But I guess it's easier once you cross that line and you do it once. I guess the next time becomes easier and easier and easier. I suppose.
Well, I won't lie to anybody either, but I will tell them the truth in a compelling and unique way.
Well, right.
Because that's, you can't even just state something anymore. it has to have, even if it's truth, it has to have a hook. It has to be compelling. Because that is what business daddy demands of us.
Right. It's not just the truth. It's the brutal truth, the hard-hitting truth.
And honestly, it's what the government demands now too, because government is done by tweeting.
Right.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's not just a Trump thing. He's made it famous, but they're all doing it.
Right.
It's,
I think Obama was actually the first one that embraced Twitter.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, and then Trump took it to another level.
He just decided to make it slap it up to about the 12th power, and and there you go. It just blew up, and it's weird because and now we see a lot of other people do that. Maybe not to his level, but certainly we see that happening. It's crazy. It's a crazy world we live in. That's and I know people think this is like dour or downer or sad or what. It just is. It's and you have to be real about it and just understand that that's how it is, and you have to kind of live your life within that parameter.
Yep. Our time is up for that topic.
Yes.
Thank God.
I'm sorry you didn't like the topic.
No, the topic was fine. It's
wins.
It's to Mike's point, it's a little bit of a downer because just the ultimate control we have over our lives, it's that path is getting narrower and narrower.
Right.
Because the things that we really have say over are becoming less and less. So walking a path of like self-reliance and being able to control your destiny, it's very much an art form now, much more than it used to be.
Yeah.
And you can't just pick a path and say, this is the one I'm going to walk. You have to be willing to alter it at a moment's notice, because when the government or one of the big corporations comes around and says, we're doing this now, and oh, by the way, we made that change a week ago, surprise. Sometimes you even got to backtrack to get back on that narrow self-reliance path. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
it's plus just on topics, it's just harder to do dick and fart jokes with, mega conglomerates just controlling everything. It's like,
it's true. You're not going to get ad revenue for that.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot harder, man.
But I guess to sum it up, if we don't have control over this stuff, then the mosquitoes are never going to win. They have no chance.
True. Someone think of the poor mosquito.
Right. Oh, Wahoo just joined us. Good evening, Wahoo.
Good evening, Wahoo. Hello, sir.
All right. Shall we move on to the much more funner true or false round?
Sure.
All right. So how this works, friends, 5 true-false questions. We get 3 minutes each for Beth to give us the question and for us to debate, discuss, and decide if she's telling us the truth or lying to us. And with any luck, the timer will work. By the way, I took a look at the numerology behind the 1222, which is where the timer stopped both times for reasons that I cannot explain.
Uh-huh. I'm sure there's something weird there.
1222 is an angel number sequence that a lot of folks notice on clocks, receipts, addresses, or randomly popping up. Symbolizes new beginnings, independence, leadership, initiative, or that spark of starting something. And then you add it up, and that adds up to 7, and 7 has its own numerology. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if Google was trying to send us a message by stopping our timer at 12:22 both times, but there you go.
Fair enough.
All right. Shall we?
Yeah. Okay. So, since we've talked about mosquitoes, I decided to make a theme. Tonight's theme is creature feature, which is basically proof that God has a sense of humor and occasionally says, you know what this animal needs? More weird. Are you guys ready?
All right. Go.
Scientists recently...
It stopped at 2:50.
What? Come on.
I don't know what's going on with the
2:59.
timers
That's-
tonight, but they are not working. Oh,
Sunrise time in Fairbanks, Alaska, 2:59 a.m.
what is with this? All right.
It's broken. It's terrible. No God.
It's totally broken. Why is it not loading?
It's a Monday.
All right, whatever. I'm going to set the timer over here. Go.
Scientists recently found evidence that homing pigeons may have a built-in magnetic compass in their liver.
Homing pigeons, a liver compass.
So, my dad used to trap pigeons. That was one of his side hustles for a while when we moved here. And we had some pigeons in the back of our apartment, in our back porch, in cages and stuff. And they can do weird things. Pigeons are, you think they're completely stupid, and some of them are, but some of them are actually much smarter than you might think, and can be trained and all sorts of. It's kind of interesting. But a liver compass, I don't know. It's weird enough. Nature's weird, and it's one of my rules. I kind of think, true, but
it makes sense in the brain to me.
Yeah, the liver just doesn't. I don't understand the liver part.
I mean, just put it in its left foot or something stupid. Then if it's going to be the liver,
yeah.
And then it brings up the whole question of like, is it that way for other birds too? In which case, with duck, does it affect foie gras? If the liver compass is pointing south, does it have more of a southern taste to it? If it's pointing north, does it suddenly get like this mapley sweet kind of taste?
Ooh. Oh, it tastes like Labatt, eh?
Questions.
Hey, buddy. You got some milk in a bag. You're gonna have some craft dinner with your pigeon.
I have a problem with the location of it.
Yeah, that just doesn't.
Trying to figure out how the liver helps the function. Although, would it possibly be? Is it the liver that processes like the metals and stuff that we get? So would that affect it magnetically? I don't know enough about the liver to tell you that, but maybe.
Possibly.
I think with 20 seconds left, I'm going to go ahead and say true. I'm going to go out on a limb and say true, even though it makes no sense to me, which is probably why it's true.
I'll just go with my general rule that nature is weird, and this is definitely in the weird category, so I'll just go ahead and slap true on it as well.
All right, we say true.
Okay, it is true.
Cool.
So it means somewhere out there, a pigeon is flying home using its liver like a built-in Garmin. Anyway, researchers found specialized immune cells in pigeon livers that break down red blood cells and store iron. Those iron-rich cells appear to have magnetic properties that may help the pigeons detect Earth's magnetic field. When scientists temporarily stripped pigeons of those cells and released them, the birds struggled to find their way home. But there's an important detail. This mainly happens on overcast days. On sunny days, pigeons could still use the sun as their guide. So apparently pigeons have a backup navigation system, the sun, landmarks, maybe smells. and when needed, liver-based magnet GPS. So the humble pigeon may be using its liver as part of its internal compass.
So I was right. It's a metal thing.
Yeah.
Yay. See, this is why we talk stuff out. This is how it should be done. You talk, you learn, you figure things out. Sometimes you get lucky.
Sometimes.
Number 2?
Number 2.
All right. Again, setting my off-screen timer because the on-screen one is broken for some reason. Go.
This is only funny because it had been brought up earlier, but Australian authorities recently busted a breeder with more than 100,000 illegal cockroaches in what was described as the country's biggest ever exotic invertebrate seizure. True.
Gross. I hate roaches, man.
Don't Google. You're not allowed to Google during lightning round.
I wasn't Googling.
Okay.
Well, shouldn't all cockroaches be illegal? Just to be clear.
Right, mate. Besides, I mean, Australia, you've got enough exotic stuff there already. Do you need to bring in any more stuff that can kill you or harm you or gross you out? All right, we got spiders the size of dinner plates. We got the eastern brown snake. How about some roaches, right? Good eye. Ain't roaches illegal?
I don't know if it's going to be roaches. I think it's going to be. It's Australia, so it's going to have to be like spiders or kangaroos or
cassowary. Right.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be one of those. Stingray. That's the size of a house.
Crikey.
Oh, those roos. Right. Right, mate. You never know. Crikey. I don't know. It sounds very Australia. I mean, it definitely checks all the boxes for something weird that I would hear in Australia. I'll go out on a limb and say it's true. I mean, it sounds crazy enough. I mean, you got illegal roaches, mate. Everybody knows those are way too small. Those are perfectly legal in Adelaide, but not here in Queensland.
I'm going to go false just to be different, because I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's another creature.
They should be in Toowoomba.
All right, I think we're done.
Okay. It's true.
I'm wrong.
Which
Yay.
means Australia apparently had a cockroach kingpin, and that is actually what they are referring to him as.
What
I'm
a sad
sorry.
title.
I'm sorry, but once a country has to say
Filthy
we have
bogan.
dismantled an illegal cockroach operation, the year is gone. It's feral. It's completely feral.
Can you imagine the press conference on that?
So it's in Australia, it's illegal to import, keep, or breed or sell cockroaches. Officials said the cockroaches had an estimated value of about 200,000 Australian dollars.
How? Who would pay
Why?
for roaches? What is going on?
How
They-
can that?
No,
What?
just wait.
Right,
just
mate.
wait.
Come
This-
here. Come here. I
this
got some of the
whole
good stuff
story
for you.
is, like, amazing. to
These are
me.
flying
Okay.
roaches, mate.
These
$80
aren't
and
like
dollars.
these aren't like normal kitchen nightmare roaches. They're larger exotic species.
What?
And they're used in
Please don't say they're used in food.
for reptiles, for feeding reptiles.
Okay, not
Okay.
human eating.
We use these for
But
feeding
the-
the eastern brown snakes.
The concern was biosecurity. Australia has strict rules because introducing foreign species can threaten native wildlife, agriculture, and ecosystems. Maybe Google should take a
Larger
look
than
at that.
normal. Like,
And apparently, illegal exotic cockroaches are part of the problem. So, yes, Australia had a record breaking cockroach bust, more than 100,000 bugs worth about 200 grand, likely tied to reptile food trade, which means somewhere someone looked at a room full of illegal roaches and thought, this is inventory. And I hate that for all of us.
I don't know. If you're found with a roach in the US, that means something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can you imagine like counting them up and
These carry guns with them, mate.
grading them?
Got some roaches
Well, it's a
with
better
laser
job
beams
than having to
attached
sex
to
the
their heads.
mosquitoes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
It's
That's only that is $200,000 value for. Okay. Well, now
they're
I've
going
heard
to be
everything.
euthanized, by the way.
Oh, thank heavens.
How? How would you euthanize a roach? What are you going to do? Drop a nuke on it? Oh, wait,
You
that
can't.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
Are we going to shoot them into space? They'll just go and inhabit another planet and we'll just screw up some other world. Oh, they'll colonize Mars. The roach planet is going to take us now.
The Martian roaches are like this big.
Yeah.
So this is Starship Troopers.
This is how
This
it
is how the
started.
bug planet happened. Damn it.
We ejected them into space, mate. He landed on Mars. All right. Well, that's we're boned.
A little bit, yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry though. Google will fix it, mate.
No, it's space. That's Elon's. That's Elon's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, SpaceX becomes a bug force. All right.
Are you guys liking the creature feature?
It's different.
Roach X.
What are we on? 3?
Yes.
Yeah,
We're on 3. Jeez.
All right, go.
with no timer because it's a Monday.
No, I'm setting a timer.
I know.
All right, go.
Yeah.
Male seahorses can get pregnant, give birth, and then become pregnant again later the same day.
Male ones. I think that might be true.
I think that's true, actually. Seems like something I've heard before. That seems true, actually. I know.
As I recall, seahorses love to party and they don't care with who or what the outcome is.
All right. Sounds like seahorses are the Kardashians. All right.
Similar sized asses, yes.
Yeah. And intelligence.
Yeah, maybe. I don't have a reason to doubt that. Do you?
No. I swear I've heard that before somewhere. Although maybe I heard it somewhere before, and they're like, "This is actually not true." But no, I think.
I believe the male seahorses can get pregnant. Whether or not they can do it again in the same day might be the thing.
Yeah, that's quite a feat.
I don't think seahorses have feet.
They should. They're horses. How they run.
Horses. Gonna gallop.
I'll go with true, just cause. You?
I'll say true.
All right. True.
It is true.
There you go.
The female produces the eggs, but she transfers them into a special pouch on the male's body. The male fertilizes the egg inside the brood pouch, carries them as they develop, and later gives birth by pushing the tiny baby seahorses out through muscular contractions. Just depending on the species, a male seahorse can release dozens, hundreds, or even more than 1,000 babies at once. And because reproduction is apparently run by an ocean-based efficiency manager, some males can be ready to receive another batch of eggs very soon after giving birth. So in some cases, the ones that really like to party can do it the same day.
Doesn't sound like much of a party, to be honest, but
Yeah.
whatever. To each their own.
Kind of sounds like the females are having all the fun there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're just laying the eggs, and the dudes are doing all the work.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Very poor division of labor there.
Yes.
All right. Number 4?
It is number 4, yes.
Go.
Flamingo chicks, meaning baby flamingos, are fed a pink crop milk that is produced only by the mother during the first few weeks after hatching.
Crop milk?
Yes.
Like chewed up barley? Is that what you mean by crop?
That's what it's called. Crop milk.
Not crap milk.
No. CROP.
Not crip milk.
Flamingo chicks are fed a pink crop milk that is produced only by the mother during the first few weeks after hatching. Would you like me to give you a definition of crop milk? Would that help?
Maybe. And how does it get pink?
Yeah.
Crop milk is a highly nutritious cottage cheese-like secretion that certain parent birds produce in their throats to feed the newly hatched young.
Oh, so it's vomit. Okay, well that explains the pink then.
I produced some of that before the show.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Did you give it to the birds? Or did you waste it?
I might have given it to some birds.
Good.
Possibly the cat.
I hear dogs like to eat that too.
Delicious. See, this sounds pretty tame compared to the other ones. Certainly compared to, a roach kingpin in Australia. Which is why it almost seems like it'd be false. But it also
They've
just
all
seems
been true so far, so I think it has to be false just on that basis.
But I mean, it sounds pretty like compared to everything else. I mean, it's very, very believable. I know a biology teacher is screaming at me right now through the monitor. Yeah, you're so stupid. I don't know, Dan. This sounds just on premise alone, it sounds pretty believable.
Yeah.
But it's not nearly as extreme as most of the other stuff we hear.
It's too believable, which is why I think you can't believe it. I'm going to go false.
All right. Well, I'll be the contrarian just for the fun of it and say it's true.
All right.
It is false.
Yeah.
But probably not for the reasons you're thinking.
Doesn't matter. I got it right.
It doesn't matter. Well, see, the whole point of the show is learning bizarre things. So let me explain.
I thought we agreed that we didn't learn things here because it would kill us in the algorithm. Didn't we decide that, Michael?
We can learn things, but we just don't want to really. That's something. It's one of those things that we keep it real quiet. We don't actually tell people that we learn stuff. It's like no, we're not actually learning. You're actually kind of learning, but don't tell anybody. Shh.
That's right. If you whisper, the algorithm can't hear.
Right.
It's left out.
They just think it's ASMR. We're actually kind of learning stuff. Oh, by the way.
Does anybody want to actually hear the reveal?
In the blind like a Dan.
Sizzler.
I've lost control completely.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So it's false because the chicks are not just fed by the mother, they're fed also by the father. They are fed crop milk, and it can look pink or red because of the pigments in the flamingo's diet. So the weird part of the statement is mostly true. Baby flamingos get fed crop milk. It can look pink. It helps nourish them before they can feed on their own. But both male and female flamingos can produce crop milk and feed the chicks. So in flamingo parenting, dad is not just moral support with legs. He's also part of the digestive milk factory.
See, they have good division of labor there, Dan.
Yes. Much better than the seahorses.
The seahorses,
but
boy.
I've completely lost respect for the seahorse population.
I really have. This is really to big corporations, to all that. I've just completely lost it. Yeah, seahorses are just, man, you guys really need to get things going.
And I'm surprised
you need a labor union.
I'm surprised that you guys thought the cockroaches were more bizarre than flamingos and pink milk because that's just weird.
The
problem with the cockroaches is the value.
There's $200,000 value. Why? Why would you do that?
That's where the problem lies. There
Yeah,
should be a negative value there.
Yeah, that dude was, I mean, it wasn't a drug trade, but he was on to something.
Never mind here when I'm trading in roaches, mate. Oh, you mean like weed, like joints? No, mate. Actual roaches, mate. Like sewer roaches, like big flying roaches. Some of them are like, 4 or 5 feet long, mate. All right.
Okay. Are we on number 5?
We are on the last one.
Heaven help us. Go.
The mimic octopus can disguise itself as a sea snake by hiding 6 of its arms and waving the remaining 2 like a striped snake.
It just does the old tuck. Just tucks it in.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work?
All I can see is Silence of the Lambs.
Actually, all I can see is 40-year-old virgin when they're doing the speed dating.
Oh yeah.
Tuck it back, put some rouge on it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh heavens. Octopi are incredibly intelligent. It would not surprise me if they could do something like that. Those little bastards are like escape artists too.
Yeah.
They show up in parking garages in Miami.
Yeah.
Because they crawl through the sewers when the water levels are high. If you have one as a pet, you might find it on your dining room table at some point, not to eat, but just because it came over to say hi. I'll go with true just because they're so damn intelligent. It wouldn't surprise me if they figured out how to mimic something like that.
Yeah, it would not surprise me either. That seems true. I could see that. I'm surprised they don't have their own TikToks and probably have their own YouTube channel.
Yeah. All right, I think we're true.
Okay, it is true.
There you go.
So the ocean has an 8-armed theater kid with survival skills. The mimic octopus is real, and it's one of nature's most ridiculous little con artists. Unlike animals that only camouflage into the background, the mimic octopus can impersonate other sea creatures by changing its color, posture, movement, and arm positions. It's been observed mimicking animals such as lionfish, flatfish, and sea snakes. And the sea snakes and the sea snakes impression is the one that's really absurd, because to pull it off, the mimic octopus actually hides 6 of its arms and waves the remaining 2 banded arms so they look like striped sea snakes. I mean,
the other creatures of the sea are dumb enough to fall for it.
Yeah.
Hey, that just looks like a sea snake. Ah, damn it.
I mean, they're down there doing like cosplay and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm a sea snake. Now I'm a hat.
Do they charge?
Now I'm a brooch.
Is there an admission fee?
Pterodactyl.
Johnny, what can you make of this?
Oh, this? Well, I can make a hat. What a brooch. What a pterodactyl.
That's like Broadway level commitment.
It is. I mean, good for them. Good for
them. So they're nature's
them.
original furry is what you're saying. Huh. Well, the more you know.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that particular brand of octopus. That's very interesting.
Oh, hey. I'm just going to disguise myself as a sea snake. Y'all not going to know it. Don't worry about it. Oh, no. Then you're just going to find out eventually. Yeah.
one went way off the rails.
Of course it did.
That's the point.
That's the point of this here show. I tell everybody it's unlike any other show that's online. I have to fulfill that promise. We can't just come on here and be like, well, everything conservative is great and liberal is bad. Yeah.
Well, this was fun.
It was.
But I do have to tell you guys something. We won't be back until next Monday. Beth goes and sees Dr. Brain tomorrow and gets about 60 injections into her head, which means she will be incredibly sore for about 48 to 72 hours afterwards. So we cannot pull off a show on Wednesday, but we will be back here on Monday.
Yes.
So we will do that.
Unless we wanted to do cosplay of sea snakes.
Yes.
Well, we can have Google help us with that because they're into artificial insects, and those creatures that roam the bottom of the ocean are essentially just sea bugs. So
yeah,
they could probably help us. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so we'll be back here next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We will be back tomorrow over at the Courtroom Files, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. Michael will have his Arizona weather discussion video at some point tomorrow, probably in the AM, I would imagine, or the early PM. So
something
look
like
for all that stuff. If you haven't already, go to itbshow.com, and sign up for the emails because Beth sends out her show notes. So you can see the research and everything that's been done, and including support links and stuff. So, she's not just making stuff up, even though she's probably making stuff up.
I am not making stuff
and she's making up the websites to support it even. She's that committed.
Yeah.
That is commitment.
I hacked into the Smithsonian just for you guys.
Thanks for that.
And don't forget, if you guys want to see both of these two together, there's always Sidebar.
Yes, and we'll be back to Sidebar.
True.
That's true tomorrow night. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific over at the Courtroom Files.
Yep.
Okie dokie, friends. We will see you back on this channel on Monday and in the other spaces come tomorrow. Take care. Bye.
Bye.